Simon Cowell seemed like he didn't know what we did. Steel Panther drummer talks rocking America's Got Talent. Changing people's perception of the genre is huge, Styx Sadania says of the band's network TV appearance. For 18 seasons, America's Got Talent has been governed by one simple rule: the show is, generally, about unknown artists getting their chance at stardom. But Steel Panther has never had much interest in playing by the rules. What's more, they sure as hell have boatloads of talent. Because of the subject matter, and because we sing about risque stuff, people don't want to take us seriously, Steel Panther drummer Styx Sadania tells Metal Edge. But heavy metal bands generally take a lot of heat. People seem to think heavy metal bands need to be serious and not have fun. So, they see us and get confused by the fact that they're looking at a handful of guys saying, "Hey, it's cool to smile while rocking out." If you've spent any time in heavy metal and hard rock circles, you've heard of Steel Panther. Their brand of over-the-top glam ecstasy is perpetually steeped in the shimmering splendor of all things 80s. Of course, the members of Steel Panther wouldn't have it any other way. Nor would their fans. Still, detractors remain. To that end, a seedy underbelly of armchair critics who love to hate Steel Panther often claim the LA natives are merely mocking the genre. But if you were to ask Styx Sadania, or any member of Steel Panther, you'd get a much different version of events. If you drop Steel Panther in the middle of the 80s, I think it would be different, Sadania insists. A lot more people would be open to what we do. Sure, we'd still be controversial, but people would get it more. But I'm grateful that we came out when we did. It was meant to happen that way. I mean, we never planned on being at the tip of the spear that helped bring this stuff back, Sadania continues. But here we are. And I think being on America's Got Talent only shows what we're all about, being the genre's biggest cheerleaders. Having unexpectedly wowed the judges, including the crotchety Simon Cowell, during the first round of AGT on May 30th, Steel Panther have claimed their spot in round 2. And it's about time, given the grind the group has been through over the last 20 years. But success on network television hasn't changed Steel Panther's outlook. Instead, as Sadania and his bandmates go full steam ahead, their mindset is as it's always been: one of the things we always hear is that we're mocking this music. And to that, I'm just gonna say this: you don't do what we do as authentically as we do if you don't love it. There are nuances that simply wouldn't work if we didn't love this music, Sadania emphatically says. If we were faking it, that simply wouldn't be the case. I think the judges saw that. Everyone who watched us get up there and do what we do saw it, too. All the people who have supported us, along with those who give us a hard time, saw that we love this music and are, in no uncertain terms, not faking it. Brimming with confidence, Styx Sadania dialed in with Metal Edge to dig into Steel Panther's appearance on America's Got Talent, proving doubters wrong and the band's outlook as they head into the second round. Styx Sadania: they actually called us a year and a half ago asking us to be on the show. But our schedule at the time meant we couldn't make it work. But they called again, and we said, "You do know what we do, right?" And they said, "Yes, we do. We still want you on the show." And we didn't know that it was open to professionals, so we said, "Okay, yeah, let's do it. We'll go compete and see what happens." But I have to say, I'm sort of beside myself. The experience was amazing, and I'm so glad we did it. After walking out to a standing ovation, Simon Cowell said, "Standing ovation, and you haven't done anything. Do you think he was skeptical?" Sadania: it didn't seem like Simon was familiar with what we do. And honestly, I don't know if the crowd knew who we were or if they were just excited because we wear shiny spandex. Laughs: it was a very strange experience because when we came out, it was very comfortable, and the crowd seemed to have our backs. But yet, Simon seemed like he didn't know what we did, but you could tell he was into it. As soon as we started playing, it was very comfortable. It didn't feel like we were on their stage and felt like we were on a Steel Panther stage. Sadania: we went into it kind of 50-50ths. So, we just said, "Look, this is what we do. We're gonna do this how we know how, and we'll see what happens." Because, like you said, we've been a band for a long time, we've got many hours of experience. But the Simon factor means that you just never know. And because of the nature of what we do, for all we knew, he could have looked at us and said, well, all you're doing is mocking a genre, which is exactly what we don't do. Given the Simon factor, how meaningful was it to win him over? Sadania, it meant a lot. We've been playing since forever, right? From the very start, we've been a band that gets on stage and says, we're here to have fun and bring heavy metal back. I mean, we've done what we've done over the years, and it's been an amazing ride. But when you get on a network like NBC, or any of the big networks, it's a different world. So, to get the stamp of approval from a guy like Simon meant a lot. But that doesn't mean it changes the way I see this band, because it doesn't. But it might change a lot of people's minds perception-wise. Was that a motivating factor in going on the show in the first place? Sadania, absolutely. Changing people's perception of the genre is huge. From the fans to people who don't know us from a hole in a wall to the promoters, talent buyers, and beyond, the awareness has now gone up. And when you get that stamp of approval from a guy like Simon Cowell, people will automatically go, oh, well, if he says it's good, it must be good. That's just the way it works these days. Has anything unexpected come in the wake of the performance? Sadania, for sure. I've suddenly had people reach out to me whose numbers I don't even have anymore because I haven't heard from them in forever. I'm getting texts from random numbers saying, hey, bro, amazing job on America's Got Talent. You killed it. And I'm like, dude, I haven't heard from you in like 20 years. So, I think it's doing a world of good for our band. And I think it will only shine a light on this music that we love. To your point, Simon said, you're so talented. It's so clear that you've been doing this for a long time because you don't get good like this overnight. That gives a lot of credence to what you've just said. Sadania, Simon is pretty polarizing as a guy on TV, but he's not wrong, especially in this case. He recognized the hard work that we've put in over the last 20 years. That meant he could probably think, oh, this is real. These guys are for real. They came here with a reputation, and they brought it. He saw that. All the other judges saw that. And the crowd that. It was a good feeling. You performed Eyes of a Panther for the first round. What went into that choice, and do you know what you'll perform in the second round? Sadania, it wasn't a hard choice because Eyes of a Panther is one of the cleanest songs we have. Laughs, so, that was a major factor. But the other thing is that Eyes of a Panther is super high energy, up-tempo, and rocking, and it's an anthem for our band. So, those things also made the choice easy. But for the next round, the choice will be a lot more difficult because of the lyrics and the rules we have to follow on network TV. Is Steel Panther open to altering lyrics if need be? Sadania, we're going to do what we have to do to play within the sandbox of this situation. It's just too good an opportunity for us to go, we're not going to do it because we don't want to change this lyric. So, if there are minor changes in lyrics that we have to make, none of us have a problem with it. I don't want to give it away, but we're down to 3 songs we might play. You'll have to see what we choose once we're out for the second round. Steel Panther went into the first round with a 50-50th mindset. Has that changed as you enter the second round? Sadania, well, I feel like the question of whether they're going to take us seriously is off the table. We know that they do. And we know that they obviously get it. So, look, we're very confident in our abilities. It just comes down to the context of the show. Is there anyone else who does what we do? Is there someone who is gonna sing a song by someone who passed away and tug on some heartstrings? We're up against all sorts of variables, so we take nothing for granted. And not to be super cliché, but all we can control is what we do. And I'm ultra confident in what we do. So, the results will be whatever they are, but I know we're going to bring it. We hope it touches people emotionally and gets them going enough for us to keep advancing. But because of our history, maybe more people will call in and show support. Who knows? We'll have to wait.